How's it going, everyone? I'm Michael Fairman. I'm a Brighton-based designer and DJ, and I've got a serious love for the rave industry. I spend most of my weekends in sweaty clubs, dancing like an idiot amongst my mates, trying to give as few cares as humanly possible. However, since the dance floors have opened back up again after the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a serious problem. Hardly anyone's been showing up. Stapled across the papers has been nothing but fear, worry and anxiety from drug overdoses, rape cases, illness and spiking. With so many reasons not to leave the house, it's no wonder why the once sardine clubs of pre-COVID life have slightly been forgotten about, and a new world of home comfort, digital socialising and experience has taken over. Tailing on from recent global events with the COVID-19 pandemic, the expansion of the virtual reality industry has rocketed. Mark Zuckerberg recently announced Metaverse and the prospect of living our lives in VR. Virtual reality bars have also been the new craze in trendy parts of London, with Otherworld becoming a popular place for locals and tourists in Hackney. Burning Man also held their festival in virtual reality last year with a psychedelic world of strange visuals and music. Fueled by an endless list of social problems killing the music event industry and the virtual reality market presenting new opportunities for design every day, I decided to explore how VR can be used to empower the industry and bring back popularity to its tarnished name. With so many technologies to explore and little to no knowledge of the virtual reality world, I had to start my exploration from the bottom with what I had and work things out as I went. I started the project by designing my own third-person viewfinder. The simple design combined a GoPro with a backpack and 360 mobile headset. The camera positioned on my back filmed my movements while streaming the live footage to the phone in my headset. Despite not being the most functional design, the hack birthed ideas of potential directions that I may follow, giving me questions to guide my exploration. What does it mean to be immersed? What gives us the feeling of immersion? And how can these ideas be replicated digitally? In order to breed more inspiration, I also took the opportunity to visit one of the simulation labs at the University of Brighton. Here, I was given the opportunity to test out one of the Oculus Rift headsets, playing the games Robo Recall, First Encounter and Fate to Dance. In the lab, I was also able to test one of the Formula One play seats and have a few races. The two experiences show me the current capabilities of immersive technology and the feelings that they can generate for a user. Having a broader knowledge of what the technologies feel like has allowed me to reflect on my designs and consider how certain elements of design in current products in the market might be included. Another technology that I've looked at and used was Illuminate Visuals app. The app works by shining the torch of the phone in the user's closed eyes, creating visuals behind the eyelids as the phone flashes like a strobe, similar to the Dream Machine design by Brian Geistin. Despite not creating feelings of immersion, the app's functionality generates a wealth of emotions depending on the configured settings. From a rushing sensation to a relaxed state of mind, the design has the ability to cause focus changes in the user's mindset, something I strongly want to consider when designing my product. I then made an attempt to replicate the effects of the app using Illustrator and Premiere Pro, animating my own Dream Machine video. However, the outcome wasn't particularly functional and a bit of a fail, but led me on to consider what can I do to design my product to create strobe effects like the ones that are being used here. Racking my brain for ideas, I reflected back to a conversation with a friend of mine who struggles to see over the heads of people in crowds at events and clubs. She told me that it makes everything so much more intense for her and gives her anticipation, and she doesn't always know what's going on, making me consider how a designer might be able to recreate these feelings digitally. Inspired by Zoe tropes and stop motion animation, I thought that it might be possible to create the feeling of a moving crowd using edited photographs inside my mobile VR headset. Finding an eerie image of a rave on Unsplash, I began creating my first immersive crowd animation. I started by layering a series of textures, colour correction effects and strobe light overlays on an image in Photoshop and transforming the orientation of the photograph on the canvas. Saving every image as I added each effect to the photograph, I started to build a bank of stills to be sequenced together for my animation. The stills were then transferred onto a timeline in Premiere Pro and edited together to create the moving animation. From here, I added music to the sequence that reflected a similar vibe to the photography. I used my music theory knowledge to time stretch each animation sequence to match a 4-to-the-floor rhythm and fit a 32-bar loop. This timing helps inline the music with the motion of the animation, giving the illusion that it is one singular acting entity, exactly what a technician would do with a DJ at an event. I also added the addition of the strobe light and levels effects in Premiere Pro to intensify the experience, making it more lifelike, interesting and engaging for the user. Once all the effects had been added, the sequences pulled in time and enough variation between the song drops considered, the animation was exported for 360 left-right conversion. To do so, I used a software called Wondershare, which provided me with the correct view for a VR mobile headset. Using Freaks.com to generate a voice, Ableton to produce my own music, and Premiere Pro to create the visuals, I designed my own introduction and conclusion to the experience, hoping to deliver a well-rounded outcome that feels professional. The introduction also gives the user an opportunity to get comfortable in the technology with instructions from the generated voice, making the testing more straightforward to operate and giving the subjects a closer to finished experience. In the second animation, I developed my immersive experience by incorporating the use of another technology, the Google Deep Dream Generator. The AI-based software forms psychedelic patterns, colours and imagery within a photo from pathways it discovers in the image file coding. This results in some trippy looking visuals overlaying the new club shot that I used for the experience, giving the video a psychedelic style. I generated multiple edits using the AI software, providing me with a bank of stills to use within the sequence. sequence. The experience was also developed further by using the transform tool to automate the frame size, the shutter effect tool to shape the shot, opacity to blend the sequences, and different filter options to create random trippy imagery such as subtract, distort, overlay, multiply, and exclusion. In the same way that I had before, I pulled each of the sequences in time and used music theory to blend the vibe of the song with the style of the visuals. The animation was converted to the correct view and ready to experience. By combining so many creative processes and generating content that people want to experience, the emerging world of virtual reality content presents an opportunity to build some sort of creative platform. In my interview with Fred Deakin, he compared the idea to being the MTV of the immersive world.
Prototype something that says, we are, the VR MTV. We're going to create a way to generate a whole bunch of useful content that people will then want to access as an audience.
The platform website is still yet to be coded and the download gate built. However, we are still using Instagram to promote the brand, as well as creatives and YouTube to share the content. Thank you very much for listening.